Right, so here we are. This is the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail. So this is typically what the trail looks like. Mountain bikes only, although we did see a chap out on his cyclocross bike. I personally think he would have had a bit of a sore ass, because it was very bumpy indeed. The first part of it, so we started from Wulkuraka, or just about 3K's north of Wulkuraka, and it does get very bumpy, I've got to tell you, at that first part. So from Wulkuraka to Fernvale's 20K's, and it gets very bumpy. This is heading towards Fernvale now. We're about probably 5 or 6K's out of Fernvale, and we're just coming into a bit of a tricky bit now. This is quite steep. This is actually a lot steeper than the camera gives it justice, because I was full on hammering on the brakes here, and the back wheel was skidding a bit, but got to cross the creek. So they are doing the bridge up there. I think they're doing it to that was the old rail bridge, obviously. I think they're redoing it so we can ride over it, but at the moment you got to cross this little bit of water. So when we did it, which was today, obviously there was hardly any water. You can walk over like Alf did. He actually rode through it on the way back, but I thought I'd give it a go, and I nearly fell off. I've got to tell you, I nearly fell off. It was a bit shaky, and then I stopped the other side and had to walk up because it was just too damn steep to get going again. I didn't have any momentum, so I ended up having to walk up, which yeah, one of those things, isn't it? First hill I've actually walked up in a long time, but you know, when you just can't get going again, it is damn steep. I'm telling you, that is very steep. But all in all, well worth doing. I'll tell you, I'll give this track the thumbs up. I'll do it again. It's a total, from what we've seen on the map, of 160K's, from Wulkuraka up to Blackbutt, I do believe it goes to. I may be wrong there, but I think that's where it goes to. I'm going to do it again. Alf and I are going to do it again, and maybe get a couple of the other lads together if we can, and make a night of it. So we'll do 80K's one day, and then stop at one of the pubs on the way, and then do the following 80 the next day, and then get a lift back from wherever the end is, which I think is Blackbutt. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. But well and truly worth it. It is very bumpy though. The first bit from from Wulkuraka, which is in Ipswich, to Fernvale is very bumpy. So probably not going to be the best for young kids, but the bit from Fernvale to Lowood is very easy, nice and flat, and the whole thing is flat. There's not really many hills, well, there's none really, but the Fernvale to Lowood is very flat and suitable for kids, but the first bit to Fernvale is pretty rough. Narrow track up and down and bumpy out. This is now actually heading back to Fernvale. Sorry, back to Ipswich, Wulkuraka. We're heading back now, and this is probably not the roughest part of it. It gets a bit rougher further down. We're probably still about 12K's out, I would say, from Ipswich at this point. But it does get pretty rough, and we were bombing along a fair bit as well. I mean, we were giving it some berries. You're constantly having to pedal. You're constantly having to put the power down, because your back wheel's just losing grip and it's bouncing around a fair bit, so you just lose a lot of traction. So you're obviously exerting a lot more energy than you normally would on the road. But well and truly worth it. It was a great day out. We did a total of 88.4 kilometres to be exact. I think it's on my Strava page, if any of you follow me on Strava. You can go to the Ipswich site there, and it'll show you where you can go and how to get to it and all the rest of it. It's a little fast bit. Great fun though, whizzing up and down, doing some jumps. and that well and truly worth it. So anyone interested in doing this, I'd well and truly give it the thumbs up. Really enjoyed it, and we will be doing it again in a few months maybe, and as I say, we'll stay overnight. We didn't get any flat tyres, no major issues at all. The bikes went fine. You do need a well serviced bike for this. You're not going to get away with a broken down old thing. It's just going to be hard work and it won't be enjoyable. So you need a half decent mountain bike, at least with good front suspension. If you don't need rear suspension, but certainly good front suspension to make it comfortable. I use my bike nicks as well, so I had the padding in the bum, and yeah, I can tell you I was feeling it towards the end. By the time we got off, I was cooked, because as I say, you're pushing it all the way, and we were giving it a bit, so you know, we weren't just dawdling around, we were motoring along. Had a nice coffee at Fernvale, had a nice Merlot there. So that is pretty much it. That is the whole thing. Here goes another few little dips. So it's a bit like this all the way along. It's it was good fun. Good fun. If you're going from Wulkuraka to Fernvale and past, it's pretty much seems like it's more uphill that way. And going back to Ipswich, which is the way we're going now, it's more downhill. So that was good, because we were obviously a bit tired when we did the turnaround, and having the downhill bits was damn nice. But anyhow, that is it for this one. It was a good weekend of riding, really enjoyed it. And you got any questions or comments, you know what to do, you can post them down below.